It's been 25 years since NSYNC broke the industry with their sophomore album, No Strings Attached. The album was, and still is, the fastest selling album for any group. It is the first album that broke the 2 million sales mark in its first week. However, despite the album's success, many cite that this album broke up the band. Don't know how much of that is true, but today we're going to find out and go through this entire era of No Strings Attached. Before we begin, if you want to see music bios or more good videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Also, I've started a Patreon account. On here you get more copyrighted material and they'll be uploaded 48 hours prior to YouTube. If you want to support or visit, link is in the description. And without further ado, on to our feature presentation. Part 1. Who is NSYNC? Before we can talk about the album, we have to talk about the group's establishment. Let's start off with Chris Kirkpatrick. In the early 90s, he got a job at Universal Studios. He was singing in various a cappella groups in the park. One of his co-workers was named Howie DeRoe. He got approached to join a group Lou Pearlman was building, and that group would be known as the Backstreet Boys. Chris was approached to join Backstreet, but did not accept for one reason or another. Backstreet Boys' early days was spent outside of America, but back at home, Lou Pearlman decided to quietly develop another band. He saw Chris Kirkpatrick perform a cappella at Universal and felt like he could be the piece that Lou was building. Chris was tasked to bring in members for his new band. The first member he recruited was Justin Randall Timberlake from Disney's The Mickey Mouse Club. His mother sent in a tape for Lou and Justin joined. The next member was his fellow Mouseketeer and Joshua Chazé, or JC for short. Chris noticed that both JC and Justin were trained and ready for anything, and thanks to their experience, the group's development could go a little faster. Next, they needed two lower harmonies to balance the group. They recruited Joey Fatone. Like Chris, Joey worked with Universal Studios and already knew Chris. He was also friends with JC, so there was already cohesion. Finally, they needed a bass to round out their sound, so Joey recruited a friend from school named Jason Watkins. Jason was perfect for their sound. Then the training phase. Jason was not a good dancer and never desired to be a teen idol, so he quit. The group scrambled to find a fifth and final member. Justin called his vocal coach back home and he told him that he was working with a client from Mississippi named Lance Bass and felt like he could be a fit. Lance came in and joined. The band did a showcase at Pleasure Island in hopes any label would sign them, but all American labels rejected them. A German label named BMG kept their ties with Lou Pearlman since Backstreet Boys had become popular in the country. They asked Lou to keep the phone lines open if he got more of these groups. Lou had one of these groups and BMG signed NSYNC. However, they initially didn't want Lance a part of the group as he wasn't on the level of the other bandmates. But after some convincing, BMG gave Lance a chance and NSYNC was on board. Part 2. Initial success. In 1997, NSYNC released their self-titled album in Europe. The album was very successful thanks to the singles I Want You Back, Tearing Up My Heart, and Here We Go. They went on a promo blitz throughout the continent. They were working like underpaid slaves, working 3 months straight without a break. A new act could not afford to take the slightest of breaks. By the time the Spice Girls and Backstreet Boys were taking off in America, NSYNC was ready to go. When they arrived home, they thought they were a huge band, but in reality, no one even noticed. They have to re-record some of the songs while adding some new songs, and they released the American version of the album in 1998. But the album was off to a very slow start and needed a boost. This is where Disney comes in to save the day. They were holding a Disney Channel concert special and originally was going to have Backstreet Boys on. However, Backstreet had a lot going on with Brian's open heart surgery, Howie losing his sister, and the band overall being burnt out due to their rapid success. Disney scrambled and asked NSYNC to do the concerts, and they agreed, pretty much on last minute. Once the concert took place, the album started to grow. And once the concert and its reruns aired, it skyrocketed the band's success. An album that debuted at number 82 in America peaked to number 2 at year's end and eventually given a diamond certification. The band opened up for Janet Jackson on her Velvet Rope tour before going on their own American tour. Also during this time, they were part of a rivalry with the Backstreet Boys. Both bands were created by Lou, and whenever Backstreet Boys said no to events, NSYNC said yes. Basically a sloppy second. Lou also created other bands because the more the merrier. Basically the rivalry came to this. Lou created NSYNC as a secret to fabricate a boy band war, mostly to play into the stand game that you see with fans today. NSYNC was the more colorful group, while Backstreet Boys was more serious and mature with their image. But in all honesty, they personally never had beef and considered the rivalry more friendly competition. Part 3. Legal Woes. By the end of 1998, NSYNC was the biggest band at that point. However, they have not received the trappings of their success. One day at Lowry's Prime Rib, Lou held a check presentation for the band. Thanks to album sales and merchandise, each member thought they could be receiving at least $1 million, 6 figures at most. But each member only received $10,000. Not a bad amount, but when you factor in those massive album sales, merchandises, shows, TV appearances, and etc., they should have saw way more than what they received. They got with lawyers to break down the contract they initially signed with Lou. Turned out they signed a 6th member clause, which is whatever the band makes in anything, instead of paying a manager, Lou would just get 1/6 of everything the band makes. So say the band makes $600,000 on a show. Instead of getting $120,000 each, they will each get $100,000 apiece because of the 1/6 clause. But Lou was getting paid with other factors in the band's finances. Now let's take that same $100,000 the members made. They had other debts with Lou, so let's slice that $100,000 in half to get $50,000 from each member, which means each member will make $50,000 while Lou will make $350,000. And this is just a hypothetical example on how it felt to NSYNC. The band tried to renegotiate their deal, but when that ended in failure, they went with Plan B and filed a lawsuit. In the midst of NSYNC recording their second album, they started to look for other labels to sign. Jive, which already had the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears, took a major stance and wanted NSYNC to join their roster, but RCA, BMG, and Lou blocked it and countersued for $150 million for breach of contract and prevented them to perform under the name NSYNC. And this could have been the end of the band, but the judge ruled that thanks to his daughter having a poster of NSYNC in her bedroom, he ruled in favor of NSYNC keeping their name. They also reached other outside settlements that allowed NSYNC to break with Lou and join Jive. Part 4. Rollout. While in London, NSYNC was trying to come up with names for their next album, and Chris said something like, "There are no strings on me," to celebrate the band breaking from their previous situation. And that's how No Strings Attached became its name. Producing for this album included Babyface, Kevin Briggs, Richard Marx, Max Martin, Kristen London, Candy Burris from Escape, and JC and Justin themselves wrote and produced for the album. In January 2000, NSYNC released their lead-off single, Bye Bye Bye. The song highlights the desire to end a relationship with their girl, although when the song came out, there were illusions that it was about Lou Pearlman and their legal situation. The video starts off with the boys being posed as puppets, with model Kim Smith playing the puppet master. She would cut strings on each member, placing them in tough scenarios. Chris and Joey had to elude her from a speeding train, Justin eluding her and her vicious trained dogs, and JC and Lance eluding her in a high-speed car chase. In between these scenarios, the band will do their choreography on a rotating blue gimbal. The video was praised as one of the best of the decade and was placed on heavy rotation on TRL. The song itself reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. On March 21st, 2000, No Strings Attached was released. On the first day, it sold 1.1 million copies, and it will eventually sell 2.4 million first week, which is the highest for any group and third highest overall behind Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets Department and Adele's 25. In May 2000, NSYNC released their second single called It's Gonna Be Me. The song is about a man trying to pursue a woman to start a new relationship together as she recovers from a previous breakup. The song also had an iconic video, with the boys being portrayed as dolls trying to be bought by Kim Smith, the same lady from the Bye 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 video. But they run into army dolls and Barbies, and in the end, Kim is able to purchase the dolls, and when they're scanned for approval, they change to the life-size member. The video also featured the bands wearing black clothing while doing their choreography routine. It's Gonna Be Me was also a TRL regular, and in the summer of 2000, It's Gonna Be Me reached number 1 for 2 weeks. The third single was This I Promise You. The song was written by Richard Marx, as the song highlights love and devotion and promise that I'll be there for you no matter what. The video also features the band singing in the San Francisco Redwood Forest sporting turtlenecks. This I Promise You went number 9 on the Hot 100.
And I will take you in my arms.
Part 5, Album Review. Now we entering the album review portion of this video, but this portion will exclude Bye Bye Bye, It's Gonna Be Me, and This I Promise You, as I've already talked about those songs in the previous section. Also, I'm only going to focus on the US American version, so deluxe songs like I'll Never Stop will not be discussed. So let's begin. The 2 lead-off singles, this is where we begin this segment. This song is a concept with JC highlighting everyone's paranoia because no one knew what was going to happen once January 1st, 2000 came, and Justin emphasized not to worry and feel paranoid, and having said feeling is not the way to live. You can't live in fear. And the song also features TLC member Left Eye as she emphasizes not to live in fear because the future is bright. Just Got Paid is a cover song originally sung by Johnny Kemp and produced by Teddy Riley. It's a classic and one of those songs that pioneered Teddy Riley's New Jack Swing sound. This version was performed at the 2000 Billboard Music Awards. And the difference between NSYNC's version and Teddy's version was that NSYNC added a rap verse performed by Chris and Justin. Doesn't really add nor take away from the song, but in the end, it briefly highlights that their parting ways would leave them broke. This song is produced and written by Kevin Shakespeare Briggs and Escape member Candy Burris. The pre-chorus is where the concept of the song comes from. Apparently, it's a breakup song, and it looked like she moved on, but the boys want them back and is jealous of their new partner. It makes them ill to see them with someone new. This song does have some legacy as Ariana Grande interpolates the song on her Break Up With Your Girlfriend I'm Bored song from 2019. Title track of this album. The song is urging this girl to give love one more try despite her hesitance, while Digital Get Down is another concept song where the band takes use of a fairly new technology at the time called auto-tune. The song falls in the territory of Email My Heart on aging very weirdly with technology references to cyber intercourse. The song uses a funky techno beat to seduce this girl who is apparently 20,000 miles away and to get down using video chatting technology. Subliminal talking about cyber sex. Bringin' the Noise is a party song that doesn't really connect. The chorus is doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and despite decent JC verses, this is the one dud from this album. This isn't related to the video, but I'm reminded of a New Kids on the Block song from their Face the Music album. That song was called I'll Still Be Loving You, with Joey McIntyre taking the lead. And the chorus of that song said, "Till forever's come and go, till the mountain tumbles down, till the stars fall from the sky, I'll still be loving you." I mention this because the song follows the same formula, except they'll stop loving you if those things happen. And this song is written by Diane Warren and it falls under the late 90s, early 2000 ballads that she was known for at the time. Justin Timberlake gets a writing credit and goes full R&B on this song. And the song is just nothing more of a love song and how they'll be good to you. Self-explanatory. And I Thought She Knew is an a cappella closing song. While NSYNC prides itself with their choreography, they really pride themselves in 5-part harmonies. The song is about not saying the quiet part loud, that being not confessing their feelings to their partner. Part 6, Exhausting the Band. No String Attached was highly successful, selling over 12 million in the United States, once again giving it a diamond certification. They went on tour during the summer with a mixture of stadiums and arenas. Some of the opening acts for that tour included Pink, Cisco, Boys and Girls United, NSYNC, Bow Wow, Baha Men, Dream, among various others. About 50 shows was ordered for the summer, but after its massive success, another 30 shows was ordered. A date at the Madison Square Gardens was filmed and used as a concert special. In 2001, they co-headlined the Super Bowl halftime show with rock band Aerosmith. At the 2001 Grammys, they had 3 nominations, which included Record of the Year for Bye Bye Bye. 2 incidents during the tour did receive some cause of concern. First, in Atlanta, where a Tennessee teenager threatened to massacre the band. The plan was thwarted as his mother discovered the plot on his journal. She alerted the authorities, and the young man was sent to juvie. Then on the 4th of July at the Greensboro Coliseum, NSYNC got on stage late as a bomb threat was placed in the arena. After the threat was condensed, the show went on. Anyway, in 2001, NSYNC released their third album, Celebrity. The album sold 1.9 million first week, which was second most at the time, but it only went 5 times platinum as the boy band phase was running out. They went on 2 separate tours to promote the album, one called the Pop Odyssey Tour, and the other being called the Celebrity Tour. After this tour, NSYNC went on what was supposed to be a temporary hiatus, keyword temporary, as it was only planned for about a year or two, but time waits for no man, and in this case, Justin. He quickly released Justified in late 2002. The album was a multi-platinum success and went on tour with Christina Aguilera. Fast forward to 2004, the band was ready to get back together and record, but by this time, Justin became a huge megastar, for better and for worse. He announced that he wasn't interested in recording any new music with the band. 2004 was signified as the true breakup year for NSYNC. According to Lance, he had this to say. He didn't think any of us was operating in the best interest of the band. I asked him what he meant by that, and he said, well, you know, when y'all did your movie, referring to Joey Fatone and Lance doing On the Line in 2001, I couldn't believe it. That sounded like the lamest excuse imaginable. Joey and I looked at each other in amazement. According to Justin, the whole reason for the breakup of NSYNC was everyone else's fault. That was crazy. All of us has done nothing but wait around for him to feel he was ready to start on a new NSYNC album. And hadn't Justin made a movie referring to 2000's Model Behavior the year before we did ours? I felt completely betrayed. It pissed me off that Justin's life got set up perfectly before he came back to the rest of us. Justin's time to become a solo star had arrived. Basically, the band waited for 2 whole years and now realized they're on their own. Part 7. Life after NSYNC. Chris Kirkpatrick mostly got involved in television. He became the voice of Chip Skylark on The Fairly Odd Parents. He appeared on the show Mission Man Band, Celebrity Big Brother, Gone Country, to name a few. He even started an alternative rock band in 2004, but broke up due to Chris starting to manage other bands and artists. He did The Masked Singer in season 8 as Hummingbird. Joey Fatone got involved in acting. He started in My Big Fat Greek Wedding. He also got involved in Broadway with Rent, Little Shop of Horrors, and most recently, & Juliet. He did Dancing with the Stars 3 times. He was runner-up in season 4, got eliminated in season 15, and made a cameo appearance in season 27. He participated in the first season of The Masked Singer as Rabbit, tying 4th place. Lance Bass, he tried to get involved into space, but failed. In 2006, Lance came out via People's Magazine and is viewed as an LGBTQT icon. The next year, he released a book called Out of Sync. He also did Dancing with the Stars season 8, coming in 3rd, and he is married to his husband, and they have twins via surrogate. JC Chasez released a solo album in 2004, but his promotion was jeopardized thanks to Justin's Super Bowl incident. He was slated to perform halftime at the Pro Bowl, but was pulled after the NFL found out about the song Some Girls Dance with Women. He tried to release another album, but it was scrapped and settled with a career in songwriting and production. And as for Justin Timberlake, he accomplished so many things for better and for worse. This video will not do it justice. Part 8. Final Thoughts. Time for a verdict. Did No String Attached contribute to the breakup of NSYNC? Let me say this. The boys are feeling some kind of burnout from the Lou Pearlman case, and when they released No Strings Attached, none of the band members thought it was going to be bigger and massive as it was. But because the album was massive, they had to promote making every TV appearance they can get, go on tour, and it was fortunate that didn't go overseas. And after that era ended, they quickly jumped into the next, feed off the momentum from No Strings Attached. So 3 years of touring, recording, promo non-stop, that'll burn out a band. So my verdict, No Strings Attached did not break up NSYNC. I believe overall exhaustion caused the band's demise, and that's just my take on what ended NSYNC. Tell me what you think what caused the breakup of NSYNC in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. And
it's gonna be May.